Well, of course, Germany quite a very important partner to South Africa, in terms of collaboration in so many aspects. You look at issues pertaining to energy and many other aspects. And joining us now is, of course, the Vice-Chancellor. So quite a very important day, sir. You're here in South Africa. Let's look at the importance of today that you're here in South Africa, once again, to fortify these very important ties. But what's the importance of today?
Well, this conference has a tradition. It's the fourth conference, but it's now happening under very different circumstances than the last three before. After the COVID-19 pandemic, especially South Africa and the South African countries, they have suffered a lot. Also because we have to be honest, they very late got vaccine, so the consequences were quite disastrous here in the country. And then of course we have high inflation, high energy prices also here. So energy is a big question at the conference, and but there was also progress made, and this is what we discussed all day long, that the Just Transition Fund offers a chance for South Africa and other countries as well to move forward, to invent a new clean energy system.
And obviously you come at a time where in South Africa it's stage 6, it's one of the highest levels where the power cuts, the rolling blackouts, a very big issue, but also the partnership that you have with South Africa in terms of just energy transition. Do you think this is just a reminder of the importance of making sure that we accelerate this process?
You're absolutely right. You tend to think that burning coal, using coal power plants might be bad for the climate. What it is, of course, but you got a reliable energy system. This is not the case, not in South Africa. They have a loss of 25% of electricity, so a blackout of 25% of the year in 2022, and the prognosis say that this will increase in next year. So the system is not reliable, and it is bad for the climate as well. So there the Transition Fund helps. They have created a committee, they have made plans what this money can be used for, renewable energy, green hydrogen. Now we have to identify projects, concrete projects. Plans are fine, funds are fine, but you have to bring it down to earth. And I discussed it with my colleague here over hours. I would say, what are the next concrete steps?
And just once again, Doctor, with the Ukraine war as well, we've seen that energy, we've seen Russia at some point cutting off its supplies to some countries in Europe. Do you think that you can get partners in Africa in terms of making sure that you avert any blackout in your own country?
Well, this has nothing to do with Africa's transformation, I would say. Yes, it's true, in Germany and in Central Europe we have to replace Russian gas. Putin stopped the gas supply. He stopped the gas supply, not to forget who is the cause for that. It's the war, of course, then sanctions, and he stopped the gas supply. And then now the pipelines Nord Stream 1 and 2 are destroyed. So therefore we are in the need of buying LNG from other places, from the US, from Qatar, from African countries. But this is a need for the moment right now. In the year 2022 and 2023 and 4 we need gas because the contracts haven't been made. Now we have to make new contracts and secure the supply of the day. But the midterm shows another perspective. We will diversify our economy, we will get away from coal, we will get away from oil, we will also get away from gas. So make no mistake that we now have some emergency in the energy system in Europe due to the Russian aggression on Ukraine does not mean that we will not become a clean and climate neutral continent very, very soon. And we're doing the same at the same time. So the scale up of renewable energy, especially in Germany, is tremendous. We have written new laws, we have new programs, energy efficiency, renewable energy. This is the future, and we lay all our political power on this.
And just once again, Vice-Chancellor, you have quite a number of business from Germany in South Africa, almost 600 or so. And with these rolling blackouts, are they saying anything at all in terms of making sure that South Africa is able to get its act together and address this issue?
Absolutely, this is a great issue. A lot of German and European companies are interested in investing more in South Africa, but of course they want to know what is the investment environment. And if you would say to them, well, one of the news you have to acknowledge is that 25% of the year you don't get any electricity, that's bad news. So we discussed it a lot, and the firms always think their own energy independence with them. So I guess if they would build new factories, they will have solar panels on the roof, a battery system in the cellar or in the garden, so that they are not reliable on the energy system. This is only for short term. South Africa and the other countries have to develop, of course. The amount of renewable energy used in Africa is 1%. 1%, and they have fantastic solar and wind conditions, and it's cheap. It's cheaper than burning coal, it's cheaper than burning gas. So, but they know it. This is, I'm sure that this perspective is the future also for the continent.
And just before I let you go, Vice-Chancellor, obviously we've seen the reports where your law enforcement agencies have been hard at work, where they've made some arrests. Others talk about this potential overthrowing of government in Germany. Your immediate reaction to these developments?
To which development?
Well, where we've seen the arrest carried out by some far right groups who were trying to overthrow the government. Yes.
So I was with my head in Africa, and well, obviously there are some terrorist groups also in Germany, right-wing terrorist groups. I have to say they are not a danger for the state, but they are a danger for people, or might be, and we do everything that is allowed under the constitutional state to get hard on them. And if the police is doing their work fine, I can only congratulate to the police.
All right, Vice-Chancellor, thank you so much indeed for your time. Of course, talking about a number of issues between South Africa and Germany, and a very interesting portfolio that it does also hold as an economic affairs minister and climate action as well. We do know it is a big deal. It does go hand in hand. You talk about sustainable development as a very central issue as well. Khayelihle Khumalo, SABC News, Johannesburg.